Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Steve with Sensus Fidelium coming at you at 10:36 p.m. July the 25th, 2026. St. Charbel feast day, St. Christina the Astonishing feast day, and there's about 12 others on Butlers. If you go to the playlist, if you have the app, you have all of them. If you don't have the app, you can get them. You can get the playlist, but 8 of them won't be out for the next 8 years. So you won't, if you want all of them, you have to have the Sensus Fidelium app, and it's all right there. I sent a push notification a couple hours ago with usually I try to remember to do a saint of the quote of the day from the saint of the day on there. So you get it every day, something in your inbox or your cell phone that comes through and just gives you a nice little quote. Anyway, hope you're doing great whenever, wherever you are. Yeah, it's the end of the week. I forgot what day it is many times. Friday. Yeah, TGIF. And what was the thing the other day or last week everybody was upset about was don't eat prosciutto on Friday or something. There was a great tweet like Keith Nestor put out earlier about if we were he was talking to a prodigy. If you took this much zeal in your hatred of Catholics, you'd be a stigmatist. And I thought that was great because I was thinking to our fellow trads in our circle like that, if we were so zealous in our growth and holiness as we are in pointing out the errors of everyone else online and priests and bishops and things like that in the church in general, we would be walking saints. I think everybody on the street would be healing everybody just by looking at them. The holiness would be radiating that much. We would change the world. Alas, we care about talking about how bad everything is 48,000 times. And most of the people who's retweeted the German churches guarantee they probably didn't say a thing about any saint of the day for the last 2 months. I don't know. So, someone in corrections department showed me on that one. Anyways, let's get right to it. I'm just playing Stringer Theories post for today. Stringer, he's a fan of the channel. You'll see him underneath in the chat quotes sometimes afterwards. So I don't think he watches live. I think I've seen him in the live every so often, but fan of the channel, go check him out. Everything we have is in the show notes. So if you want to follow him on, I better make this good. He quit his exit exams for this. Better make it good. No pressure. I definitely failed this semester. There's always next year. Know what they say about failing? I really don't know. I failed EKG. The 1 year I had to take summer school. I failed EKG miserably because EKG was one of those class. If you didn't get it right off the bat, you went down. You could not catch up. And I took summer school and did that class for 3 weeks and made 100 in it during summer school. But yeah, no, I feel your pain. Liz says her feet are cooked, her soles are cooked. Moving is tough. I know. I am not wanting to move myself. We're thinking about it. We're looking at it. There's some places. The only places we can find really are downsizing and more expensive. Isn't that something? We downsized to get here. And it's pretty much a little bit more expensive than what we were before. Now we're thinking about downsizing even more and even higher. There's a place offering me, I think, 2 months free. So in a sense, the first year is a wash, but the moving part, man, and then thinking about packing everything, I am not maybe. But I feel your pain. I couldn't, every time I think of moving or boxes, I still don't have my books unboxed. Anyway, yes, it's not AI music. Even though I'm trying to make a couple AI. If anybody knows how to make an AI music video with at the tune of Total Eclipse of the Heart, please let me know. Contact me. I have lyrics. I just need to get them together. And I don't know. There was some cool the banjo Billie Jean songs, the AI music videos of cool songs that they turn into Southern banjo stuff. Maybe because it's Southern music. I love it. I think they're great. But I'm weird. I had a friend of mine upset about because the Odyssey came out and they were talking about. Elon said that he was going to do an AI version of the entire Odyssey. I thought personally, I saw that going, That'd be cool to watch. I know a lot of guys going, oh, that's just slop. I go, well, how's that slop? If the guy that's can pull it off is going to make it look good, how is that bad? Because I was talking to a friend of mine, because he said it was fake. He goes, it was fake. And I go, you're a superhero fan. That entire genre is fake. It's never, Hollywood has to put it out there, has CG, have green screens everywhere, CGI, what out of everything. So it's fake. It's still the same thing. It's just you take out the overpriced, highly got the guys that think they're don't stink actors, and you just make a movie out of it. It's the same idea. I don't care who's the movie. To be honest, I would rather have 16 movies with Christopher Reeve and his Superman. And even though he's dead, but it'd be like, that's Superman. Instead of having 16 different Supermans all the time and having to reboot the darn thing, just have it. I don't know. Hollywood's they're going to make it that way anyway. So just embrace it. And Major League 3, the movie Major League 3. If you ever watched that, I'm a baseball guy. I loved Major League, the first one. Second one was okay. Third one was terrible. And it was to the point that you could tell it was fake. It was like the first years of CGI almost. You saw bad action on the ball. It was just horrible. If someone made an AI out of that, I guarantee it would look way better than that. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. This was good. Delta, name a city that changed your life. Number 1 answer, Wuhan. Had to be there? No. Trump says Mexico will be punished for lettuce that caused explosive diarrhea. Someone had a great line on that. They go, imagine waking up from a coma from 10 years and you saw that as a tweet. We're going to punish Mexico for lettuce that caused explosive diarrhea. Should punish Mexico for this. Think about how crazy this is. San Diego County is literally giving residents free air purifiers because of the ongoing Tijuana sewage crisis. When government is handing out air filters so people can breathe in their homes, that you've gone far beyond any. What is this? Oh, they're going to play music. I can't do that. Man. Okay. And it has a solution to the lettuce again is just grow your own darn lettuce. That should be a reason. Why am I importing lettuce from Mexico all the way up if I live in Indiana? Why can't I just grow my own lettuce? Yeah, I know, crazy. Canada, they just opened a bridge to Detroit. And in Wokeness goes, how the ceremony is going. Hi-yo.
My name is Nikki Van Orscott. I'm chief of Caldwell First Nation, and our community is Place of the Red Cedar, and I come from the Turtle Clan. My spirit name means carries strong mind.
There's reasons why I would never live in some cities. It's just one of those things. Cloud outage, like the cloud, blamed for a short disruption on major websites. Dozens of popular websites crashed on Friday. I don't know when this happened. I was mostly doing other things at the time, possibly leaving millions of users unable to tweet about their lunch, unable to access online services. The Turtle Clan, yes. Issues began around 6:40 a.m., affecting a range of services, including Apple Pay, DoorDash, Reddit, and streaming service platform Hulu. And if you're up at 6:40 in the morning watching Hulu or doing some DoorDashing, I question what you do anyway. Excuse me. Yeah. Apple Pay. What are you doing on Apple Pay at 6:40 in the morning? Even if it's West Coast time, you're at 3:30, so that's not going on. Maybe in Ireland or UK you're using that. Maybe, I don't know. The widespread disruption is blamed on connectivity problems with Amazon Web Service, the AWS, which announced that the issue had been resolved shortly after 9 a.m. The failure affected multiple AWS services and region in Oregon where people were still sleeping. So nobody, who knew? There's all the sites that were affected. Some of us work night shift. I get it. I mean, I kind of work night shift. I go to 2 a.m. sometimes, 3 a.m. The other day I was 5 a.m. like, oh God, I'm gonna be a zombie in the morning. So no, I feel you. I understand. But you're not watching Hulu at 4:30 in the morning either. Missouri bishops warn elimination of state income tax could burden lower income residents. I want you to read that one more time. The Missouri bishops warn, like time out, this could be bad, warned that the elimination of the state income tax could burden lower income residents. Every system of taxation must serve the common good, the bishops told Catholics ahead of the August vote on the measure. Your Excellencies, you better come with a good argument. Missouri's Catholic bishops are urging state voters to consider justice and equity ahead of a state vote that may eliminate personal income tax there, with the prelates warning that such a measure could adversely impact low-income residents. I don't know about you, but I mean, if I've been low-income resident and would love not to pay income tax, so how is that a burden? Voters in the state will decide on August 4th whether to approve Amendment 5, which would reduce and eventually eliminate Missouri's stealing of your income, or Missouri's income tax. South Carolina is doing pretty much the same thing. So you got Florida is eliminated, Tennessee's eliminated. Is it New Hampshire is eliminated? There's quite I know there's a bunch of southern states are talking about eliminating it. I wish North Carolina would move that way. The measure would mandate the reduction of personal property and other local taxes when local revenues increase. The amendment will allow sales tax to make up the difference in state revenue. South Carolina is doing exactly that. Here's the argument back. You don't always go out and buy things. And even if you buy things, everything that you buy in taxes would not equal to the amount they take from a state income tax. It's like, say like $5,000 in state income tax. Just give a number. You know how many times you got to go to the store daily to rack up $5,000 in taxes for that? The statement does this month, Missouri's 4 Catholic bishops urge voters to consider the moral principles that could guide us in pondering any tax proposal. The Catholic Church, they pointed out, does not mandate the governments adopt any particular tax model. Well, at least that's something right. But the Church does teach that every system of taxation must serve the common good and be guided by justice. I would say that not being able to keep your income is a good thing. The bishops warned that shifting the sales tax. Think about this. Tennessee does it. You don't see anybody going, oh, look at it. Florida does it. There's states that eliminate it. I mean, Florida's talking about eliminating the property tax too. Now, they acknowledge the supporters of income tax repeal have a sincere desire to promote the long-term prosperity of Missouri, but such aims should be weighed alongside the potential effects of those who are most vulnerable. I guarantee they will be happy with this. The bishops further called on government to preserve tax-based incentives for charitable giving. And of course, because make sure they don't get hurt on that. Maybe someone could teach me how to do it, because I have a 501c and it is kicking my butt in taxes. Now, if someone knows anything about me, please reach out to me, because it is hurting. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. The prelates urge voters to thoughtfully discern their vote on the amendment in light of the church's teaching. They also urge the government to ensure the needs of the poor and vulnerable remain at the forefront of public policy. It is. That's why they're doing it. Polling has shown that the slight majority of Missouri residents favor eliminating the state income tax. Slight majority, and maybe the slight minority are insane. An SLU YouGov poll from February 2025 said 52% of voters there support eliminating the state income tax. The other 48% were high. Just 29% of the voters on the February 2026 poll, meanwhile, preferred income taxes to sales taxes. those 29 people just got, what is it? They're drinking Drano as Batman. Remember the first Batman? What? You know what? I'd rather just give, someone to just take the money out of my thing instead of me voluntarily paying for things. I mean, that's what it is. One is forced out of your check. The other is voluntarily going to give it. So if you want to, I want to go buy ice cream today. Then you get a tax on that. Okay. You don't have to go get ice cream, but you do. And then you pay a tax on it. Or you want to go to the grocery store and there's a tax. Again, how much taxes are you paying? There's usually, you go to the grocery store, even if you pay $100 in food, you're not paying $50 in taxes. Yeah. The Pope's Prayer app, I know everyone that's watching here has the Pope's Prayer app. I think it was a papal app. I don't know what it's called. The Pope's Prayer app has been leaking its users' info for months. You don't get any indulgences for that one. The vulnerability of the Pope's official prayer app, Click to Pray. That's what's called. Click. Who's the marketing? Call me next time you guys want to put a marketing thing together. I will help you. Has reportedly left the information of its nearly 720,000 users exposed. The exposure, according to security researcher Bob the Hacker, has been ongoing for at least 6 months and includes usernames, email addresses, countries of origins, and sins. In a Friday blog post, the researcher said that they reached out to 9 email addresses associated with the app to report the issue on January 3rd, but never heard back. As of July, the researcher counted 719,517 registered accounts. The vulnerability is still live. Nobody has ever responded. I guess my email wasn't in their prayers. The app, launched by the Pope in 2019, is described as a digital community of prayer where you can share the intentions of the Holy Father and pray together with others. You know how else you can do? You don't need an app to do that. I know Halo's got that. You can pray on Halo. You pray with the guy that does the condom movie or whatever. Man, Click to Pray. There's 48,000 different names I would come up with that. Speaking of, while I'm doing it, do you want to talk to there it is right here. If you don't want another free app, Sanctifica, rooted in tradition, built for today. There's the QR code. I'll leave it up there for a minute. Click it. You want the free app? Click on the QR code, download it. Also, you want to get the Sensus Fidelium app, sensusfidelium.tv. But yeah, you want a prayer? I will take this app over to the Pope app. This would be better probably. Halo, I would say this would be probably better. Check it out. The reason why I say probably is because I never downloaded the Halo app because I just couldn't do the 5-minute sign up, and I felt like it was grade school. I don't know. A woman delivered a homily during Mass in Munich this week. Theresia Rochelle joined Bishop Wolfgang Bischoff of the Archdiocese of Munich and Friesling to give a dialogue homily, a sermon on Wednesday. Yet the Holy See expressly banned lay preaching once again just 4 weeks ago. Woman gives joint homily with German bishop despite Vatican ban. And 2 things on this. Aloha. I was afraid I missed all the streams for a week. I know this has been a problem this week. I have yet to get anything done on time. So usually I get this thing all together around by 4:30, 5 o'clock. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week has been nuts to the point that I haven't even started getting show prep done until about 9 o'clock. Today was 9:30. I didn't get show prep done until, and when I say show prep, I already had most of the stuff put out. I just got to put it in order or get it up and then put in the link and all that. So it took me till about 10:30. I got everything. I ended up scheduling this out for 10:35. So it's just, and I mean, shoot, the last couple of shows went into midnight. So yeah, it's just, I'm behind. I've been behind for the last couple of weeks. I need another me. I got a story on a guy that cloned himself down the road. Don't worry. See how we segue this? Anyway, part of me is like, okay, good, crap. Call this out, show this around, blah, blah, blah. The downside to it is, why do we, if it wasn't for the internet, None of us would have cared. Even though, again, like I said, not for everything on here. But what for church-related stuff, what is the solution for anything like this? One, I don't live in Germany. Never going to even visit Germany. Germany's got to figure this out. It was another one. I was like, okay, great. We're pounding away. How many people that brought up this homily during Mass has even talked about Saint Charbel, for example? Tremendous miracle worker. Nobody. We focus on the bad. We never focus on anything good. I was just saying that the other day, how useful having extras of myself would be. 1,000,000%. Yeah. I know the church is down on cloning, but I would take another clone. I mean, like example, I'm trying to get the consultation thing going, and I'm thinking back myself going, I need 15 me's to try to, if that thing kicks off, to pull that off. I mean, anyways. Also, what is hurting is that I'm trying to redo all the videos, put descriptions, SEO descriptions, new titles, new thumbnails, all the hashtags on there. And for each day of the week, it's usually about 20 to 30 videos. So I'm editing 20 to 30 videos, just the ones that are already up, not even the ones that I'm trying to put up throughout the week, just to get on. And then if I find another one, like, oh, I forgot about that one, I'll get that one going and make that a thumbnail and something like that. And man, or if I get you know what? I'll redo that sermon from 12 years ago, make it better, which I did. Your post about the Catholic doom and gloom news was excellent. No, I appreciate. There's a reason for that too. I know some guys that some doom and gloom posts came out. I can't get into the whole story until they tell me to. But it has destroyed groups. It has been poison and has destroyed groups. So by their fruits you will know them. In the sense, we will come judgment day, find out what good and bad has done for everything. It was the only one I've heard mentioned today. Yeah, Father Chris Alter. Yeah, I emailed him once. I haven't heard back, and he wrote me back. Did he write me back? And because I'm trying to get callers to talk about decentralization, and I never heard back from him, I think. But yeah, good on him for bringing that up. But yes, I'm not. You see me. How many times I talk about the stuff on the bad stuff in the church? Rarely. I mean, I got some stories that no one knows about that I could do, and I don't want to do it. One, because a couple of them told me not to do it, but still. Yeah, poison. It's like ecclesiastical porn. And I know the guys that love the porn get mad at it when you say it. So there's always that too. Shiloh Hendrix found guilty of disorderly conduct toward Somali filming her, but not guilty of offense to child after viral racial slur incident in Minnesota. Unless you've been under a rock, you've heard about this. Hendrix' attorney established that Jamal's first contact with Rochester NAACP after the video was spread on TikTok roughly 10 days later. What is this?
Hardly anyone actually does. Why do you think that is, that so few people get into the market?
I don't know what she's talking about there. Shiloh Hendrix, Minnesota mother, 37, was found guilty Thursday of one count of disorderly conduct following a 4-day trial in a viral case involving Shiri Jamali, a father of an autistic Somali boy accused of taking an item from Hendrix's diaper bag. I was reading and looking. Yeah, enough people. Yeah, there's enough people covering bad stuff. Before she responded by calling him a racial slur, she would be forced to pay $1,000 fine and complete community service. I think she raised like $200,000, so not a big deal. She will not be made to serve the 90-day jail term unless she violates probation. Jury in Olmsted County District Court acquitted Hendrix on the second misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge with more than 9 hours of deliberations. Hendrix was found not guilty of disorderly conduct against the man who filmed and taunted her. Why he filmed and taunted her, I have no idea. But not against the child. The Somali immigrant who filmed her did not film the confrontation between her and the child, just between himself and Hendrix. and I can't click play because she's flipping people off and cussing, things like that. So, blah, blah, blah. First report by the Minnesota Star Tribune. Judge Krista Daly sentenced Hendrix to stay 90-day jail to a stayed 90-day jail sentence, placed her on supervised probation, ordered her to complete 200 hours of community service and fined her $1,000. The charges stem from an April 28, 2025 confrontation with Roy Sutherland at the Roy Sutherland Playground at Soldiers Field Memorial Park in Rochester. According to the testimony trial, an 8-year-old autistic Somali boy removed a packet of applesauce from Hendrix's 18-month-old son's diaper bag. Hendrix chased the child and called him the N-word before the bystander confronted her and recorded the encounter. The video quickly went viral, drawing national attention, igniting debate over race, free speech, and the circumstances surrounding the confrontation. Throughout the trial, Hendrix's attorney argued the prosecution was an attempt to criminalize offensive speech protected by the First Amendment. Here's the kicker. This has nothing to do with the First Amendment. I know everyone's probably waiting like Steve's going to say it. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the First Amendment. 1A has nothing to do with it. And you see the fake right all over that. First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment. The fake right is showing their colors that they are for progressive. The progressive idea of incorporation. Incorporation is not this. The Bill of Rights was not made to be a weapon against the states. The Bill of Rights was supposed to protect the states from the federal government. And even guys, Mason, there was a couple other guys. Mason was one of them, but there was I forget his name. Shoot, I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. A couple of them said, why bother? Why do we need it? The states have Bill of Rights. And indeed they do. If you read Minnesota's Bill of Rights, you'll see, well, they have a free speech thing for press. Doesn't say anything about being on a field or anything like that. But yes, this has nothing to do with the 1A, and you're going to see all these big government hacks out there saying it does. I won't say hacks. Most people are ignorant on this because they've been taught since we lads that the 14th Amendment, aka the Miracle Amendment, makes the Bill of Rights from here to the ice wall to Hoth, around the Stargate and back. No, when it says the First Amendment says Congress shall not pass, it means Congress shall not pass. San Francisco used to ban cussing. You didn't hear anybody going, for free speech, First Amendment. No, and guess who stopped that? It was Clinton. Clinton also did the porn, saying that was free speech too. Yes, if a state wanted to ban speech, any kind of speech, they can. If a state wanted to, create a Catholic state, they could. That's the crazy thing. I tell Catholics about that, and they will fight you because they are so centralized. They're centralist in their mind on everything. Has to be DC or bust. It doesn't matter what happens. Got to be DC. Your state could become a Catholic confessional state if you wanted to. You got to work on it at the state level. You get Catholics involved, get in the state, get into General Assembly. You can make that the official religion. 12 out of 13 original states had official religions. And then you keep, the separated church and state. Find me where, because there's a guy online that fights me about this all the time. Separated church and state. Okay, well, square the circle. The 12 of the original 13 had official state religions. Obviously, that's not separation of church and state. So tell me how. They still have it on their constitution, some of them. It might help if we all move to the same state. Yeah, it could, but it also could help if people just get in office. Say you get a good Catholic governor, not a Zionist like we have with Hot Wheels and DeSantis. And yes, DeSantis is a Zionist. And what if we got those guys in and you start doing pretty much the governor and the state assembly have unlimited powers. We do not understand that. It was Jefferson that said the federal government is limited and defined. The state governments are unlimited and not defined. But we don't think about it. The states could end the federal government right now if they want. The states could tell Trump to go back to Mar-a-Lago and pound sand if they wanted to. That's how great it is. When's your interview with Sean? I'd love to get a self-defense tool. I don't know if Sean Ryan will ever ask me to do do an interview with him. It'd be cool, but I don't know what to talk about. I did write ask for like Brian McClanahan and other people like that to go on his show because to get that message out there, because that'd be a fun one to get state rights and decentralization in a lecture, in an interview like that. Anyways, I'm not saying she did right. I think that both were wrong. The guy didn't need to bust out a camera or provoke her. She didn't have to lose her mind over it either. She could have acted like a rational human being, but she's tatted up beyond belief. And she looks like she got dressed up for the she got dressed up pretty well for the court. But I mean, I'm not saying flipping off and going, saying that will supposed to get you in jail, but how about act a little bit better too? Massachusetts, sticking with state laws, Massachusetts House passes bill for abortions up to birth. My first question was, are there no Catholics in Massachusetts? And if so, what are you doing? Why don't you guys get off your keisters and get involved? Because for the Massachusetts, Massachusetts people voted for the people to get in the House. And where's the bishop in Massachusetts? Where's the picket? Where's everyone at in Massachusetts here? Yesterday, despite clear public outcry, Massachusetts House passed a radical abortion expansion bill, H 5595. The bill virtually removing all restrictions on abortion in Massachusetts allows abortion past 24 weeks with no requirement, blah, blah, blah. The fight moves to the Senate. The same language are being filed with Senate Bill 1563, an act prioritizing patients' access to care. If this bill passed, does not help us directly. Yep, and we'll get it. Okay, I'm ready to brief. Take action here. Take a step further. Call the Senate Ways and Means Committee at blah, 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 and urge every member to keep this bill from moving forward. Well, the thing is this what the Massachusetts people want? If they are, there's some crazy people in Massachusetts that need some help. Where's the Catholics in Massachusetts? Every Catholic in Massachusetts better get up there. This is Massachusetts Citizens for Life that posted this, so there's some up there that are saying, but what are you doing? You get involved in your state house, get involved in gubernatorial stuff like this. Never happens. Mass is cooked with all Muslims now. I don't think the Muslims are putting this one through. I don't know. You'd have to look up for that. I don't know. Shiloh looks like a lady who threw a puppy at a guy during the pandemic. I can't argue that. Sean just said he was done with politics. Yeah, no, I did hear that. I haven't listened to all the things to go. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I did hear that part. I mean, he said, don't put his hope in princes. And again, that's the problem. We put our hope one guy. We think one guy is going to change this whole thing. Again, it's just bad mindset. If you want to change things, you change your state. You get the right guys in the state house and the local city council, all that stuff. That's how you get you. One guy in DC is not going to do a darn thing. Maybe this is good that people will start figuring that out. I'm going to keep saying it until other people start bringing it up. But yes, I'm glad he said that he's done with politics in a sense, but he should focus on the local and the state. Where's the best place to go to Mass in North Carolina? White Knight, where are you in North Carolina? And are you there for this weekend? Tell me what area you're in, and I'll help you out. Because North Carolina's decent sized state, depending on where you're at. Unless you're wanting just to drive to anywhere, but let me know. I'll see you in the chat. Just tell me where you're staying, or are you in North Carolina? If so, tell me where, and I'll tell you. ASU, Arizona State University, the Sun Devils is now offering a degree to become an influencer. In becoming an influencer, students must build a social media account and prove they gain real followers to graduate. Steve, are you going in tonight? Love to hear it. Evening, everyone. At Steve, you are going in tonight. Could you imagine going into massive debt to go to ASU to get a degree on something that a moron could just do? Okay, how's this? call me up if you're wanting to get into social media. Call me up or email me. I'll help you do it, and I'll save you 30 grand. I'm visiting for the first week in August near Charlotte, but traveling to Virginia for a funeral. Where in Virginia? Because my brother's the priest up in Richmond, Virginia, fraternity parish, St. Joseph. So if you're going into Richmond, there you go for there. First weekend of August. Let's see. If you're in Charlotte, I would go to St. Thomas Aquinas. Go to St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church. You're going to Bracy, okay? I don't know what it is in Virginia. But yeah, go to St. Thomas Aquinas when you're in Charlotte or near Charlotte, depending on how near you are. Our Lady of Grace in Greensboro is beautiful. Yeah. If you really want to go out, go to St. Thomas Aquinas, go early and go to the Byzantines. They start at 11. And then after the Byzantines, walk across the quad and finish out with a mass. Bada bing. You'll get some good churching in on you. Louisiana is already pro-Catholic, always has been, but we still got tons of corruption. We amended the Constitution a couple of times. Well, it's not just the Constitution; it's the people that get in it. So yes, Louisiana is a pro-Catholic always state. Even the north part is Protestant, the south part is Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, you're going to get corruption because you get people that want to do it. The good people usually don't want to do it because they don't want to go in and control people's lives. It's just the way people are. So the way to get the corruption out is for the non-corrupt people to get in. I know it's weird and it's not what people want to do all the time, but when they say we got to be vigilant, we literally got to get ourselves involved. Switzerland ends exemptions to mandatory military service for clergy. A new law will end military service exemptions for clergy. Oh, by the way, remember, as bad as Germany is on what they did and what they're doing in liturgical things, they don't work on Sundays. Can we say that about ourselves? I wonder how many people are going, I hate that German guy. He's nuts. I wonder how many of those guys work on Sundays. Yay, Alabama. Yay, Alabama. Yay, Alabama. Yay, Alabama content director arrested in human trafficking operation.
Breaking news right now. The director of content for Yay, Alabama has been arrested and accused of soliciting prostitution. Investigators in Shelby County arrested Robert Aaron Settles and 14 others as part of a sting operation. Court records say
Yay, Alabama. Oh, it's covered college athletes for teams around the Southeastern Conference. Oh, okay. So it's like a blog spot. Britain to stage its biggest ever war simulation to ensure whole country is ready. Oh, there's a 31-minute thing. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Britain is to stage its biggest ever war simulation to ensure the whole country is ready in case of an attack. The aim of the simulation is to prepare the country for war. Okay. Alongside the simulation will be a public campaign to raise awareness about the importance of protecting the nation. Darren Jones, Chief Secretary to Sir Keir Starmer. This will ensure that this will ensure that should the worst ever happen, we will always be ready. I would go and say that they're not worried about being invaded. They're worried about the people of England. Hawaii Supreme Court is openly defying the SCOTUS precedent, calling it racist. Our 50th state is now in open defiance of U.S. law. Will anything be done? And I go, oh, good on Hawaii. That's again, they don't care. They're not talking about Putin coming in. They're talking about the people that live there, and not the Somalis. They're talking about going after the actual English. This is a good thing. Hawaii now, the Hawaii stuff with some of the racist thing is kind of stupid, and it's kind of there's some loons in Hawaii, but this is good. This is them saying state rights, go pound sand. We're going to do it this way. This is a good thing. There's a lot of guys that are upset about it because, we got to be centralist. I mean, because there was a write-up, I think, about How dare Hawaii? Would they think they're an independent nation? Yes, they are. And Hawaii should succeed because it's not even on the, it shouldn't even be part of the states, but they got, as they said, got taken over by the bayonet constitution, the queen. They overthrew the monarchy, the U.S. overthrew the monarchy in Hawaii. So anyway, this right here, this link, the YouTube link that goes to McClanahan's 40-minute show on this topic. In Fluoride Action Network, New York, Albany, unable to add fluoride, aka poison, to water, citing Iran war supply chain issues. Hey, there we got a good. There's a W on this. We plans the fluoridate the city of Albany's municipal water supply have been on hold for months due to supply chain issues caused by the war in Iran. City officials confirmed to WAMC. Sunday. The delays come even as Albany has finished building the infrastructure it needs to begin adding fluoride, which strengthens tooth enamel, they say, to its municipal water supply, according to Albany, because you get all these guys, they love that. You know what also strengthens it? Hydroepoxide toothpaste. You can go online, type in, go on YouTube and talk about like curing cavities on your own. You'll learn so much about fixing your own teeth up without fluoride. Lots of Protestant missionaries that contribute to Hawaii becoming a state as well. Oh yeah. With Tim Tebow's family, for example, goes to the Philippines. Why? To convert the Catholics. You don't see, Tebow's family ain't going to Iran to convert the Muslims. They're going to Catholic places. Florida's economy is now the 14th largest in the world at $1.8 trillion. The Sunshine State is outperforming entire countries powered by lower taxes, lighter regulation, and free enterprise. Florida's model is working. Note to Missouri bishops, they don't have a state income tax either. And also, Florida should leave the union. And just because that's a perfect example right there. 14th largest in the world. You know what? We don't need DC. You know what that means? No more income tax for Floridians. No more progressive income tax going to, you talking, they would be the richest state in the world, probably. Think about Florida's economy. If they're the 14th largest in the world, and if they bailed, if they declared independence and not have to pay 40% income tax to DC. Man. Everyone and their brother would be moving to Florida tomorrow. I would be fighting you to keep you to be there first. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the unconstitutional U.S. FDA, said the Midwest Poultry Service is recalling nearly 1.6 million dozen white shell eggs and brown cage-free shell eggs produced in Texas, as they have been potential for contamination with salmonella. Just in case you ever wondered how to solve that stuff, just have your own chickens. You just, again, goes back to the lettuce that's going on. If you read, do I have it back here? Human Scale Revisited, Kirkpatrick Sale. It talks about all these topics like this, that if you like the big farms won't produce as much, and they always having problems, and they have less yields. But the lower farms, you keep it local, no poison, better yields, better tasting stuff. We got to stop thinking centralized everything. New Hampshire parents preparing your children to go back to school in August. Please remember, Republicans passed House Bill 1268. Homeschooling is now easier than ever and gives you freedom in determining how to help their child succeed academically. Melissa Blasink says, was she a congresswoman up there? Former state representative. If you live in New Hampshire and are a homeschooler that doesn't take an EFA, the world is your oyster. The government essentially requires that you prove nothing to them to gain permission to homeschool. So go forth and prosper. I personally still recommend keeping a portfolio for best practices, but lack of particular record keeping can't be held against you anymore. Wow. Anno says, I got that on my to-read list based on your recommendation. Now, if I can only get my ADHD control, you know how you cure that? Read 5 books at once and just do a paragraph, just do a chapter each. So that's we can go from one to the other. Trust me, that's how I do it. I can't do just one unless I have to force it. And just like if I'm doing a podcast or show later, yeah, quail's easier than eggs. Rick Barrett does quail. But yeah, if I'm reading books, I'm reading books. The IRS is threatening to seize a Tennessee man's farm after charging him interest on a $20,000 refund it accidentally sent him, which he immediately tried to return. Wilson Perry Kirby, 76, said he was accidentally sent $20,000 by the IRS in 2022. Kirby immediately tried returning the money and even hired an accountant to fix the issue. Instead, the IRS is now charging him interest on the money he tried returning and is withholding his 2025 tax refund. I tried to president, governor, mayor. They don't mind asking you to vote for them, but when you need help, you can't get a hold of anybody. Yep. Oh, I didn't hit the thing. My bad. You don't know where I'm.
Before it went on television. But when you need the help, you can't get a hold of nobody. You have to talk to a dang computer. Well, they called me right before I went on television this last time and said it was settled from Marshall Blackburn's office.
This notice sent in early July demands he pay thousands of dollars in interest on that money he says he never spent, or risk having his property seized.
I wish you'd get it straightened out and get one person to work on it instead of sending me letters all over the United States. I've cried, I've preached, I've asked people to pray for me.
The 76-year-old says he's done everything he can to make it right, including meeting with the IRS Taxpayer Advocate Service in downtown Nashville, an effort he says got him nowhere.
I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm paying my parking bill on my telephone. I said, oh, my God. I said, I got a little old flip phone. I don't know how to do that.
It's simple what he wants, for the IRS to stop coming after him.
Is that little one?
Yeah.
He gets caught in the fence. He sticks his horns in there and can't get out.
More than anything, Kirby just wants this to be over.
That it was all over and done with. Praise the Lord. Amen. Because I've cried. I'm about to cry now. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I have connected Mr. Kirby with a Nashville tax attorney who deals with IRS disputes. They are planning to talk on the phone on Friday to see what other options may still be available to him.
End the IRS, the unconstitutional IRS. Hey, but hashtag winning. Yeah. Humpty Trumpty's doing real good for that, isn't it? Biohacker Brian Johnson is cloning himself as a baby so he can harvest his organs. The tech billionaire, 48, who spends 1.6 million pounds a year trying to reverse his aging process, has revealed his latest bizarre bid to live forever. Electronic biohacker Brian Johnson claims to have made a clone of himself as a newborn baby so he can harvest his organs. Its organs. The tech billionaire says the baby will also be used to test novel new therapies. I just cloned myself as a newborn, he wrote in a post on X. 48-year-old nutter, let's see. Last month, he revealed he has been diagnosed with incurable autoimmune disease. Yeah, so this guy is nuts. In the air, Walmart shopper films dystopian and futuristic video as her dinner ingredients are delivered by drone. Apparently, that's a very small drone. There she blows. Let's see if I can get that to play.
Says my groceries will be here in 1 minute and 57 seconds. This is so cool. Oh, I hear. Oh my God, that's it. This is dinner. Wait, I probably should go otherwise so I don't get knocked out by the food. It's a little hot out here, but it beats getting out work before. There she blows. Dinner says
All right, let's go with the Lego
You
movies.
already know who it is.
Lego music video.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah. Calling Legos loud mouths, dumb confused. Folks getting facts from Lego, not your losing news. Who's this little clown thinking he running the show? Narco Ruby, little man. Yeah, we already know.
So it was they did it because Rubio made fun of say, I don't like the music, the Lego movie music video, so they made a music video of him. Wasn't sure if that clone story was legit or not. I erred on the side of caution and deny his claims. No, that guy has been trying all kinds of things to keep himself alive. Brandon Gill, Jim Banks draft bill to classify birth tourists as invaders, prevent automatic citizenship. The legislation comes as Justice Kavanaugh left the door open for Congress to adjust who is not eligible for birthright citizenship. So Texas Representative Brandon Gill announced he had joined Indiana Senator Jim Banks to bring the Citizenship Act. Now, a better idea is just to do it at the state level and not have to worry about the centralized government. A federal judge blocks New Hampshire's proof of citizenship voter ID law. The refusal to stay the ruling pending an appeal for the recent decision is described as a win by the left-wing page Democracy Docket. Like a war zone, fire. I was going to say, it was a Madonna tune I had in my head. Wildfires forced 20,000 to flee in southwest France. Fires near Bordeaux have scorched 3,400 hectares as hundreds battle the blaze. They said something about they're having to. I saw the Rick dark helmet lookalike. I saw the Rick Moranis wore dark helmet at the Comic-Con. Was it today? Here is an interesting thought on New World Next Week.
And I will continue to encourage that. So once again, just like last week, I will tell people about Reclaim Our Future,
So
the National Day of Action on
yes.
AI data centers taking place August 1st. More information, reclaimfuture.com. But having said that, yeah, the real question in my mind is these automated license plate readers have been around for decades at this point. I mean, we've been talking about technology like that for a very long time. Why is it Flock in particular that is now the central point and focus of all this rage? And why is the AI data center protest, why is it catching on? Why is it being spread and talked about in the media? And Tea Party member, is that like the original, like Ron Paul Tea Party? Or is that the co-opt corrupted GOP run Tea Party of like 2009 and onwards that became the left-right shenanigans? So it really does. I mean, I hate to all do this and question every single good news story that ever presents itself, but I think we have to be aware and realistic that these sorts of things don't just gain traction in the controlled establishment media and get put in front of us in that venue, unless there's a reason behind it. And I think there may be a type of dialectic pincher movement going on that is presented in that, oh my God, it's the Chinese who are secretly funding this data center protests, right? And we're going to need to bring in the whatever, ICE or whoever to deal with it, right, guys? And you will note that the thoroughly risible Kevin O'Leary, who I didn't even know about. I don't watch TV. I'm not plugged into pop culture. I don't know this guy, but I've just seen him because of this data center stuff in the past several months. And his number one thing is it's China is funding all the opposition to these data centers. Who could possibly be against a data center in Utah except the Chinese, I tell you? Well, now that's being amplified. So is there some sort of dialectic being pushed here? Anyway, I don't want to overthink it because, of course, that just plays into the establishment's hands. You can't do anything. Oh, resistance is actually part of supporting the system. So don't do that, guys. No, support the National Day of Action. Obviously, we should be against the data centers. We should be against the flock cameras and all of it. But also, let's be wary of what kind of direction the narrative is being steered in here, and whether we ultimately can set the narrative. Again, we do not need the establishment media to report on this stuff for us.
James, I've been playing chess
This chess idea is really good.
a lot the last year or so, trying to teach myself to play chess. And one of the favorite things I do, you can find me as Monarchy on the chess app. There'll be games, and it just throws you into the middle of a game you didn't play to just show, like, what move would you make right now in the middle of this game? And I think that's it. It helps you think ahead, plan ahead, because you've got 3 moves ahead that you wonder if your opponent, oh man, they goaded me into doing that so they could get me over there. I didn't see it at the time. But yeah, don't use Chinese TikTok. Use American TikTok. Don't use Chicom spy tech. Use our American spy tech. James, just sort of formulating the idea as you were there talking about it. Where did all of this come from? How did this get all as big as it did? One part that just struck me, it didn't have a name. They were called Alpers. The ALPRs, the automated license plate readers. Okay, that's an okay acronym, but now it's Flock. It's got a brand corporate name that, like some kind of tar baby, can take all the heat, all the hate, all the stuff. We'll smash it. Oh, good. We got rid of all those Flock cameras, which is just a brand name version for New World Order surveillance. So just like they change out presidents, the agenda still rolls on. So that would maybe be a part I would look at as Flock, as sort of the, we'll lead the parade, and I took all your slings and arrows, so they can bring in the next thing. Well, it's between 600 and 7.
They're talking about the British thing. I forgot about one more thing. Was it them that talked about that? The Obama, or was it someone else?
Like this celebrity star kind of guy.
Anyway, they were talking about also that, how everyone's worried about Trump. Trump says there's going to be no elections. Obama said that. Bush said that. They all say the same thing. It happens every time. There's not going to be another election. Obama's going to take it over. There's not going to be another election. Bush is going to take it over. There's not going to be another election. Trump's taking it over.
But what I'm starting to sense with what's in this country right now is a kind of docile, like to some degree, like an unacknowledged system that's waiting to be to be initiated. And I only mean that with the sense of all we're seeing build out, which is not secret. It's not debatable. With Palantir and plenty of other companies, what we're going to talk about, they Flock and Axon and Sight and Leonardo and Signal Trace and this one Defense Sync and all these different companies, almost I literally every single one of them, including Flock only has one as far as I can tell, but every one of these companies are packed to the hilt with Israeli intelligence. Flock has a military intelligence directly from the military. What was the actual? I think I have it up today. I might not. But one of the main guys I talked about that overlaps with Signal Trace and Leonardo also works for Flock, and he's directly tied to military intelligence. Right? It's right on his LinkedIn. That matters to me with what's going on today. But that's not the point for Flock necessarily, but rather just the idea. And honestly, Israel is only one part of without Israel's involvement, this is still just as insane. Jason Bassler talked about the Axon camera, or rather the Axon light post that's all over the UK and other places. I think that actually I take that back. That was my opinion last time, but I believe these are the light posts that we're seeing in my opinion, by the way, just speaking off the cuff. In this case, though, what Jason's talking about is the Axon camera, or rather camera light post that is real, and just saying, here's another example of the company doing the same thing, right? So here's where this goes, and I believe this is important. Here's Orwell Day again. Now, I'm not familiar with who the guy is. I asked Earl Day earlier who this was, and we weren't able to figure it out. But either way, I'll let you know when I can, if I find out the information. But it's a great clip. And it's somebody discussing the reality of Axon cameras, which I'll prove to you myself with all of these individual local reports showing you that's what's happening, that people are now, local communities are pushing back, getting flock removed. And then sometimes with their knowledge, sometimes not, the local community, the local government then simply goes to Axon and replaces them with those. So I said, looks like another of our concerns is coming to pass. Here's the clip.
Flock Safety, the automated license plate reader technology company, not having a good time right now. By my last count, as many as 82 communities.
It got cut off kind of. He said Flock Safety is what he started with. Is not having a good time right now, which I think we're all seeing. And he goes on to talk about, that they're removing contracts all over.
My last count, as many as 82 communities in 28 states have ended their agreements with Flock Safety. I talked about how LAPD ended their agreement, how they let it expire. And I don't know why no other news source is reporting this, but I have definitively confirmed that the city of Las Vegas has ended its agreement with a third party that was providing Flock Safety cameras. They have said in writing that they're not using those cameras anymore. As I said, 82 Flock contracts have been terminated from August 2021 to May 2026. So the fact that you're talking about this in your communities is having a significant impact.
It really just needs to be absorbed alone, guys. I mean, look, like it's certainly possible this was the way it was supposed to go. It was all about getting you to jump there so they could go over there. It's obviously possible. But I don't think it doesn't behoove us to even think that it's obvious that if we have enough numbers and people speak up enough, that we have an effect, whether or not you think our government cares or not. Like, it's just about momentum. It's about the awareness that even their illusion requires them to pretend that we have it's obvious. Now, we may drive beyond that, get to a point to where our government becomes so authoritarian that they can that's where I kind of think this goes and where I think they're built. You can. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose hope. Keep standing up for what you believe in, because it makes a difference. Period.
But it's not all that it seems, because while the flock may fly away, someone else has come into the picture. Axon. In Denver, Flock had 110 Flock cameras, and then residents found out about it, so they got involved, and they were upset, and they said that they were upset, and so the city let the contract with Flock expire. But then Axon came in. This happened in Syracuse.
So think about how crazy that is. This is obviously a clip from a longer thing he does, but think about, it's right on the surface. I'm sure you already think of it. The idea that, we all go, we don't want those cameras. It's kind of like the Smith moderate. It's the same point. They go, oh, okay, we hear you, but Axon's not Flock, right? So we'll just do that and we're okay, right? It's like, clearly they know you don't want license plate readers. They just play, rather be stupid than criminal, right? Government would always rather be seen as incompetent than criminal. If you can kind of apply it that way, but either way, they just act like, well, it's not Flock, right?
The Axon, you've probably seen their products through police body camera footage. They are the major supplier of police body cameras, but they now also provide this technology. And it's actually an entire ecosystem, body cameras. They also have drones and dash cameras and ground robots, I guess.
You might remember Axon, and I'll show it to you in a second. Remember, it got got some attention because they were floating the idea of using taser drones for ICE and other things. And their entire ethics board quit, and they pretended they stopped it. Now, far as I could tell, it's not in use or being made. At least I can't prove that. But the point was that they then went on to buy some kind of military drone company.
So you get it. So just like what James Adam Pilato was talking about in chess. Gets you, I'm going to go over here and then make you move over this way too. So Jason Bassler, it's just not Flock watching us. Skydio drone manufacturers now in bed with 1,000+ police agencies nationwide. SFPD went from 6 drones to 92 in 2 years. There are now more than 6,000 police drone programs across the land. That number quadrupled in just 1 year. Unusual Whale says the U.S. is implementing a readiness project to test large-scale national mobilization scenarios per the Wall Street Journal. This shift coincides with the new rule taking effect in December 2026 to automatically register men aged 16 to 26 using federal data sources, moving the responsibility away from individuals. Let's see.
Electric independent motors, you go vertical, you just.
And tell me about the actual mechanics of this. This doesn't run on fuel. It's not oil and gas.
No, it's all electric. The idea is electrification of aviation. Finally, we're getting that point. So it's in our case, we have 10 motors, 10 electric independent motors. You go vertical, you just taxi out of your garage with 8 vertical motors, and then you transition using 2 thrusters, pushers, and fly forward.
Wow, this is just incredible.
Now, it won't do worth a darn if you can't put anything in there for gas or for groceries.
And tell me about.
Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to eat. Nicaragua's parliament plans to eliminate elections to codify President Ortega's declaration. Lawmakers argue the constitutional change will ensure peace, security, and stability. Buc-ee's is going viral after an employee pay sign revealed that some store managers can earn up to $275,000 a year without a college degree. Yeah, it's electric. Boogie woogie woogie woo. You run out of energy. You run out of battery. Wee. Yeah, candlesticks is probably not. It's probably because I put the string together 5 minutes beforehand, so that's probably why. I just got an ad about the AI takeover. Dun, 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 dun. Have you seen this boy? If you have a cop that comes up to you and says, have you seen this boy? Scream.
That's too many questions left unchecked.
Have you seen this?
Don't take that ride. I ran it out right. Don't sell that lie. Regime change turns fire to flood. 90 million lives, mountains blood. MAGA heard them numbers don't lie. Almost 90 said no when the poor went high. No war without brand. That message spread. Then the war drums came when the voice went dead. SUV floor, pieces on black. Roll white marks now run that back. They said one shot, one rooftop frame, but the mic got louder than the official claim. Mic check, mic check. He said no war. Now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, mic check. Hot mic, black shawls, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. Candace pulled threads, they called it noise, but questions don't die when they fear that voice. Who clipped the mic? Who cleaned the scene? Who moved too fast behind the screen? Bullet fragment came back in, not cleared, not closed. Still questions within. Prosecutor talk, judge struck back. Now the courtroom pressure got cracks in the track. He wanted 5. Charlie said, wait, don't hand America another war state. He wasn't Iran, he wasn't outside, but truth is truth when a war machine lies. He saw the trap before the blast. Said that road turns nations to ash. And headlines spun and the war got sold. Now the mic check echoes through the code. Hot mic glow, black shard shine. War drums roll, right on time. Mic check, mic check. You said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, mic check. Hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. Sacred defense. He said no war. Iran remembers. Questions remain. Mic check.
Now, this goes into the whole thing about the war too. If a war is going on, are you going to make it Lego movie music videos as good as these things have been great? I don't know. Everything's a stage. Remember, anyway. But yeah, I heard that one. Wow, that was catchy. DNC committee sets up South Kakalaki to vote first in Democrats' 2028 presidential primaries.
Out in Nevada, which pointed to its state's large Latino population as a reason it should go first. The decision could have major implications for which Democratic candidates emerge as early frontrunners in 2028. Joining me now is NBC News national political reporter Ben Camisar, who was covering today's DNC meeting. Ben, thanks so much for joining us to break down this breaking news. So South Carolina seems to be set to be Democrats' first primary in the 2028 contest. How significant is this?
It's pretty significant. I mean, look, kind of throw the 2024 contest out for the Democrats because it wasn't really contested. But looking back to 2020, you started with 2 lily white states, Iowa, New Hampshire, certainly places that had a lot of fans for retail politics, for being able to reach rural communities. But they were lily white electorates in it.
Hey, Mark, did you know you're a lily white electric? Lily White. Can you imagine if he said that those guys were black or in the ace of spades? The Lily White, you can get away with Lily White.
party that was counting on Hispanic Democrats, Black Democrats, other voters of color as the major piece of the puzzle for them. And so what this move kind of does right now is it makes those states, South Carolina and Nevada, two right at the front. And ultimately, it's going to mean that the candidates that want that early momentum will have to do well with those voters, which is a little bit of a shift. You know, you think about President Joe Biden when he won in 2020. He did very poorly in the first two contests, Iowa and New Hampshire. Ultimately, his candidacy was saved by South Carolina. So there's going to be a lot of strategic decisions made because of this blip of the calendar. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects the open nomination.
It is. And Ben, we should clarify for folks, is this etched in stone at South Carolina? Could it change between now and 2028?
It's
What do you know
written
about
in
that?
pen.
Well, let's move on from it. AOC and Pete Buttigieg lead Democrats in New Hampshire presidential primary poll. And don't worry, polls are just worthless because remember Ron Paul won the CPAC polls all the time. Obviously, that didn't matter or anything, but it is funny to see that the AOC and Buttigieg are the leading candidates. Now, this just in. Zuckerberg's Meta is launching Facebook Verified, a free badge to verify there's a real person behind the profile with a biometric scan of your face. As Geopolitics and Empire said, all of a sudden, the biometrics are coming in. Evangelists say that they are heeding a biblical command to preach on flights. Well, no one's going to jump out of the plane, huh? In-flight evangelists have preached sermons and busted out guitars in recent years. Some travelers lament that they can't even walk away. Trust me, if there was a guy that pulls out a guitar and starts singing some song that makes my ears bleed, I may pull a Jim Belushi, if you know what I mean. Going to have to delete all the meta-related stuff. Way too expensive. It's a lose-lose. An active homosexual and a woman. Sounds like a beginning of a bad joke. Mark Roberts was on Spirit Airlines. It has to be a Spirit from Philadelphia to Chicago last year when a woman stood up across the aisle before takeoff and greeted her fellow passengers. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, she started talking about Jesus with a bright smile. He recalled, super cheery and super excited about everything and ready to have fun, said Roberts, 25, a content creator and frequent. Does he have a PhD from ASU for content creating? I would love Father Isaac that I would pay to get on that flight just to watch. Just like, you know, can I have they used to smoke on airplane. Have you ever seen the movie Tetris? Just watched it the other day. Actually, a fun movie. I didn't know Tetris started in Russia, by the way. The last thing you see him smoking on a plane, and that'd be fun. Just to, go ahead, Padre. To small crowds on airplane. When she was talking about like the scariest stories in the Bible. To small crowds on planes and often much larger audiences on social media, self-described evangelists are seizing the opportunity to share their faith with other passengers, whether fellow travelers ask for the word or not. They have no choice but to hear the words of Whitney Lynn, an evangelist, producer, and songwriter from Orlando, who says she preaches on most flights she takes. Man, what do they just pay to get on flights? An airplane is a pretty captive audience, especially when they all do this. Put on the headphones and click a movie. Go ahead, do what you want. When I have a gift and I have a life raft, if you're drowning, I want to give you that life raft so you can be saved. Man, oh man. Thank God. That'd be fun, I guess, that I don't fly. I wouldn't be able to hold my mouth back. Oh, yeah. Let's get on. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about you? What do you want to know? A video she posted earlier this month showed a post-flight preaching session. Let's check it out. There have been viral guitar-led worship services in the air. All that videos on this? Hours-long prayer and song sessions and quick messages during the flight delay. Let's check it out. TikTok. Hey, Lou, look at this. Very captive audience.
I hope you all got some rest. I just want to make a quick announcement for everybody while they're getting their bags. You know, San Diego's known for the beautiful landscapes, right? And the perfect weather. But I want to tell you who is so perfect and so beautiful, better than anything in this life, is knowing Jesus Christ personally as Lord and Savior. He died on the cross for all your sins. He rose again in 3 days. He's alive. He's the one true God. But the wages of all our sin is death, hell forever. But the gift of God is eternal life.
Not moving.
And if you know him personally, one day you'll go to heaven and walk the streets of gold and have beautiful, perfect peace like nothing you could ever imagine. So I pray, you know, Jesus, put your faith in him.
I mean, it's good on earth to have the courage like that, but that doesn't do anything. Let's see. Christian pastor ripped by Omar for singing on plane says his focus wasn't political. So apparently do they have a video of that? Oh, here he is. Look at that guy's face. The guy, can I make it? I might be like that guy in the plaid, like looking out the window. Should I try? Oh, let's see what else. Hours long prayer. Let's see. Sermon in the skies. Nightmare British Airways flight as passengers turned journey into a church service by singing and preaching for almost 3 hours while holding a Diet Coke. Please tell me there's a video of this. Buckle your seatbelts. No, there's no link for anything. Oh, here it is. TikTok, maybe. Let's see. That did absolutely nothing. Let's see what else. Let's see. Quick messages.
Hey guys, since the plane is, not moving, and we might as well just have some good deep conversations.
This is the DIA, Denver International Airport.
I just want to let you guys know that Jesus loves you guys and that God sent his only son Jesus to die on the cross for y'all. And I just want to share because we're not moving, we're not doing anything, So I just want to share that God loves you guys and we might as well have a good time on the plane and get to know each other, So love you guys. Just want to let you know that. Amen.
I just said, good on the courage. I'll give him that.
Okay, guys, this is the story of how I open air preached on the airplane. We first started off with literally God giving me a confirmation about moving to Nashville through the girl literally sitting behind me. And then on the way out, I was planning to preach the gospel, but I didn't. I got too scared. And I was like, Jesus loves you. And of course, I'm wearing my Jesus Saves hoodie. So that was already getting a lot of traction. And yeah, that was really great. And then here's me just saying, you know what, guys? It's okay if you're nervous sometimes, just preach the gospel. And then boom, second flight. Then the flight attendant literally sitting in front of me, not a flight attendant, the pilot was a Christian. And he was like, I love your hoodie. And I was like, oh, thank you. And literally he was like, oh, look what I'm wearing. Look what I'm wearing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, literally so good. Just had so many opportunities to preach the gospel. And then literally our second flight broke down. So the Holy Spirit said, preach. So here's me scared to death preaching the gospel.
Since the plane is, not moving and, we might as well just
like, we're Christians, let's hang out. So we played this intentional little card game that my friend made in YWAM Kona, Hawaii. And it was so good. And they just started opening up and asking questions and literally sharing their testimonies. And this group
just flying the plane. Yeah, if you're the pilot, who's up there? Not like I said, good on them for courage. We need to do stuff like that. I mean, obviously, just getting up and just starting and just going to town on a plane may not be the best idea, but hey, I can't fault them. Reacher star Alan Richson calls Trump blah 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 in Epstein files tirade. I saw the video. I stopped it before he got to the F-bomb, but obviously I can't play it.
To the American, think that the sheer scale of the numbers here are starting to break through to the American people, that this is not what they put Donald Trump in office for. The president himself has made billions on crypto, while investors have lost almost twice that amount. So when you combine these scandals, and the numbers are scandalous, including Pentagon investments, direct investments.
As Daniel McAdams says, Hunter was an amateur grifter. These are the pros. Yep. Don Jr. was worth $10 million when Trump was inaugurated. Now he's worth $500 million. Nothing to see here. Move along. Washington Compost says Congress isn't working. Literally in today's edition, Congress is going to be gone a lot this year. House Democrats campaign arm notches another primary loss. But first, the big news: prepare for possibility of higher gas prices. The price of Brent crude, the international benchmark, crossed $100 a barrel Thursday for the first time since May, reported Victoria Craw, John Hudson, and Piper. The jump came after at least one Saudi oil tanker was attacked in the Red Sea, widening the threat to oil supplies already constrained by near blockages of Strait of Hormuz. 425 to 440 gallon becoming possible for the national average, with diesel going up to 535, 550 in the next couple of weeks. It's already $4 here where I'm at. There are no wrinkles. You know what? I thought the same thing. He reminded me of Gilbert Gottfried. Yes, that's good call on that. Yes, gas is up 30 cents a gallon. Did you mean $30? Yeah, 30 cents in Wyoming. And they said, I saw $3.99 today. What was it, $3.30 2 weeks ago? I remember pumping it up, and I drove by it today. So, U.S. oil refineries run at breakneck speeds as wars choke fuel supplies. High utilization rates create risk of outages at a time when fuel prices are already up sharply. Trump imposes new global tariffs, drawing protests from trading partners. That's good because the tariffs will help him and hurt us. Yay! I wouldn't be surprised if gas is at $10.
Since the start of the war for gasoline and diesel, according to AAA, the national average price for a gallon of regular gas this morning is $4.11. That's up more than $1.10 since the start of the war back in February. And look at this. Brown University now says the total consumer burden since the start of the war for gasoline and diesel alone is more than $73 billion and going up by the minute. All of this is having a massive impact on your wallet. CNN senior business reporter David Goldman is here to make it make sense for all of us. David, today's question: how much is the Iran war actually costing American families?
It's a lot, Wolf. I mean, you were talking about gas prices. Now, this price, the $4.11, that's up almost 40 cents from where we were just a couple weeks ago, and that adds up. I mean, $305 is your average bill for the increase in gas prices, and $253 for diesel. That really matters because everything comes on a truck, including your grocery prices, which have cost you an average of $240 more during the course of the war. Also, we're all paying for transportation, and that has added $110 to your average bill just to get around. Now, it's not just gas prices that are raising costs for you, also mortgage rates, because oil has raised bond yields, and this affects your mortgage. And now you're paying, on average, $200 a month more if you get a new mortgage because those rates have increased. We're up to almost 6.6%. We were below 6% just before the war. And when you have the median home price of $441,000 in this country, that really adds up. But it's not just the cost to you as a consumer, it's also the cost to you as a taxpayer. And the average cost per taxpayer for the military cost of this war is $280 just over the past few months. Wolf, it's really starting to add up. We are now looking at a grand total of nearly $1,400 per average American household for the cost of the war.
Yeah, and if the war continues to escalate as it looks like it is, that's gonna go up and up and up. Yesterday, I had a chance, David, to fill up my car with regular gas. And take a look at this. I took a picture. $5.59 a gallon, regular gas. What is the highest national average we've ever seen?
Yeah, that's quite a bit higher than the average that we had before. In 2022, we were at $5.02. Now, if you remember, there was a ton of inflation in 2022. So that is now almost $6. It was $5.90 in today's money. So clearly we have a little bit of room to go, but people like you are paying something pretty close to this, depending on where you're getting gas, Wolf.
Yeah, before the war, the average price for a gallon of regular gas was $2.98.
Right.
And recently, it's right now, the average price around the country is $4.10. And when I was paying $5.59, that's way higher here in the DC area. David Goldman, thanks as usual for making it make sense.
I don't know if any of that makes they make you feel better, huh? Maybe it made
according to AAA, the national average price
feel any better at night, right? The key here is Saudi Arabia must join the Abraham Accords. Everything he does is for Israel, literally everything. This is Trump talking about the Saudi Arabia, which pertains to a non-military use, but is subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. Speaking of Abraham Accords, let's check out antywar.com. Generals singing in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Trump threatens biggest attack on Iran yet. It is the weekend. Bombs away, baby. And wait for the prices to go up on Monday. Oh, somebody stop this. Somebody tell me, where's all the just war guys at? Iran claims IRGC destroyed Amazon data center in Bahrain. House Dems vote to end Iran war after giving best leverage. U.S. bombs Iran for the 13th consecutive night. Trump, U.S. to target Yemen if more tankers hit. Yeah, because why not? You're going to declare war on somebody. Might as well declare war on everybody. Israeli attacks on Gaza kill 4 Palestinians. Israeli drone strike in Lebanon wounds paramedics. Ukrainian drone attacks kill 3-year-old boy. Hegseth not giving Pentagram $1.5 trillion is greatest threat. Again, where's the calls for, hey, we need to, all right, you know what? We celebrated something on July the 4th called something about the Declaration of Independence. When is that going to come up? I guarantee he will. I would bet he will. I would not be shocked. If that came up tomorrow, I'd be like, I would not put anything past these guys right now. And the world is pretty much,
No, I don't. How much longer do you expect this to go on? And do you think munitions should be a limitation at this point? What do you hear?
No, I don't think, the Pentagon has done a great job of restocking the munitions. I don't think that's an issue at all. But I do expect that we're going to be there a long time. Operation Northern Southern Watch went on for, almost 20 years, I think. So I think this is going to be something similar. We're going to have to stay there. Those guys aren't going to change their behavior. We have to adapt. And I think, we're going to have to get the Gulf states and those that rely on the oil coming from the Gulf states to help pay for this.
They're not going to. He blames them. And we all know that occupying Saudi Arabia to bomb and blockade Iraq had no meaningful consequences. Anyone at Fox News can think of. Yeah, General Sparling says that it pretty much just blames them for it.
Get a civilian nuclear deal, but why does Saudi Arabia
get a civilian nuclear deal, but Iran doesn't get a civilian nuclear deal?
Well, again, this agreement is still being worked out. Well, it will eventually, hopefully, be finalized with the condition that the president spoke about this morning. But this agreement in particular, as it's been discussed thus far, does give priority access for American companies in the Saudi nuclear energy program, which will ultimately benefit American industry workers and supply chains. So the deal that has been discussed thus far and will continue to be discussed absolutely puts America first. And that's obviously very important to this president.
Well, I'm just going to lie to you about this. Daniel McAdams, I have never seen anything so disrespectful to our U.S. military service members in my entire life. On Thursday, the U.S. Department of War lowered the total number of American service members officially killed during the Iran war from 18 to 14, removing the 4 service members killed during the most recent round of hostilities in the Middle East. Let's see, they were killed last week in an Iranian ballistic missile attack in Jordan. Sergeant Michael Swinton died as a result of controlled demolition of an Iranian one-way attack drone in Iraq. 3 military officials told the New York Times that one reason behind the change was that their deaths occurred after Trump declared a ceasefire with Iran in April. Think about that next time you get high.
Well, because what the American people want is victory. There's this bizarre notion in foreign policy that the American people are deeply worried about the immediate cost.
Shapiro urges Trump to wage total war in Iran.
Of war to the enemy. That the American people, that we can't handle the ugliness of war for even a day. That every conflict has to be totally antiseptic. And here I'm not even talking about the American willingness to undergo casualties. No one in America wants American casualties. It's a tragedy and a horror. We do understand that.
Once he get his eyebrows worked on, you think that? I know you're thinking of that.
War does come along with casualties, and we are willing to undergo those casualties in pursuit of.
All right, Ben, you're so gung-ho about it. Go. Sign up. Go.
End and a victory for America. But as far as the idea that, for example, America, we can't hit Kharg Island because the Iranian people would then be deprived of oil resources. The American people are, I should say, not particularly concerned about that. We are far more concerned with why we're there not winning. I think that what we actually ought to do is say an eye for everything. Like you touch a ship in the Strait of Hormuz and we kill the head of the IRGC, we kill Khalibaf, we kill your entire leadership class. Again, we destroy South Pars and we destroy Kharg. One drone and that's what happens.
The guy likes some killing, huh? Jewish people don't go in the military. No, this guy just cheerleads. Why this gas price surge could be different. After 5 months of war, I remember 5 months, was it 3 weeks to flatten the curve? This one was? That was 5 months. Analysis says oil markets will be forced to price in long-term disruption to global energy flows. American drivers face fresh sticker shock after disruptions from the Iran war intensified in recent days, sending oil over 100 a barrel and natural gas prices above $4 a gallon. But prices could be posed to go significantly higher. Energy analysis and executives warn as oil markets are forced to recognize the dislocations of conflict. This has been one of the big cases. Blah, 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 energy. Da, da, da. What we got here? Gas prices never broke $5 a gallon. The benchmark cost of Brent crude didn't reach 200. Those major prices ahead of the key buffers. Let's see. Anything juicy here, 20% or more. China can't bail out the global market oil forever. Americans, including many Republicans, are losing faith in capitalism, polling shows. Once the future King President DJT has indicated his main strategy for 2026 midterm selections is to call Democrats socialists and even communists at every turn, even though he is one. My thoughts on that. Parenthetical. Trump's foul-mouthed Iran meltdown leaked as president in revenge mode as he runs out of options. He is losing it. I can't play the clip, obviously. Iran warns of strikes on Tel Aviv if Trump expands campaign to Tehran. Iranian officials tell the New York Times that Iran will attack Tel Aviv and urge Houthis to block the Bab al-Mandab if Trump acts on threats to strike Tehran and key infrastructures. Man. Anybody got the popcorn ready? War and tariffs threatening to a resilient U.S. economy again. As a result of renewed fighting with Iran since oil and gas prices surging, Trump has imposed new global tariffs that could push up prices even further. And you thought he was for the people. I think it was some kind of crazy line. What was it, like 90? Where's the number at? There was some insane number that he was trying to do for on here. Still mostly is talking about oil at $100 a barrel right now, 50% tariff on goods. He's pretty much tariffing everybody right now. Anyway, sorry I don't have any sports news. I had that one guy that foul tipped the baseball off him. I didn't think that was kosher. 1851, the window tax that backfired. I was actually thinking about the guy that flew his plane into the IRS building. Beginning of Mata Hari's trial, 1917, Julie Crone. 1963, first woman to win the Triple Crown. 2023, Elon Musk rebranded X. Yay. 2020, Regis Philbin died at age 88. I had no clue he died. 2013, American sex researcher and therapist Virginia Johnson died at age 88. 2005, American cyclist Lance Armstrong kept winning. I remember I was personal training at that time, and I just remember laughing at all the bikes because I don't remember anybody riding a bike before Lance having to dress up like they were riding the Tour de France back then. So I would joke with guys because they would come in and they were just, I go, hey, you in the Tour de Columbia or whatever. I mean, they just got all out. I mean, even they're just riding down the street. They had to dress up for it. I mean, the guy that used to be Mr. South Carolina, who was he was like my boss was there. He dressed. I gave him some junk too. He's like, man, get that any tighter. I would say I'm going somewhere. If I had the money, I would have bought racing uniform, like car racing. Because I would have, hey, where are you going? I said, well, if I'm going to drive the car, you guys ride a bike, I'm going to look like Dale Earnhardt when I get in the car. Yeah. Regular, I still wear, if I ride a bike, this is how I ride a bike. And I wear my just regular pants and a shirt. Regular people used to wear normal clothes. Yes. Now you have to dress up like Lance Armstrong just to ride a bike. 1980, they think they're racing. 1988, the World War II drama Saving Private Ryan debuted. I actually watched it. I remember hearing that a lot of guys that's needed help afterwards. 1969, J-Lo was born. She's apparently Catholic, by the way. Pray for her to actually be Catholic. 1959, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev and U.S. President Richard Nixon engaged in a kitchen debate in Moscow. 1945, Selma Burke's bronze relief portrait of U.S. President FDR was shown for the public first time. 1944, Soviet forces liberated a Majdanek concentration and extermination camp on the outskirts of Poland. 1923, the Treaty of Lausanne, the final treaty concluding World War I, was signed. 1915, and the worst maritime disaster in American history, the passenger liner SS Eastland capsized in the Chicago River, killing more than 840 people. In 1911, led by a local resident, Herman Bingham reached Machu Picchu in a remote part of the Andes. 1897, Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas. I've been to Atchison because the National Junior College Championships were in Hutchinson, Kansas, and we had to go through Atchison. 1847, Brigham Young and the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints arrived in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it went downhill from there. 1567, Mary Queen of Scots was formally deposed after rebellious Scottish nobles deserted her army in Carberry Hill and forced her to abdicate in favor of her one-year-old son, James. Now, Saving Private Ryan, you know what, White Knight, I agree. I liked Hacksaw more. Even though it was, it was kind of funny about that was Mel Gibson did the movie, and you know how he's a big sediment contest, right? And so he's doing an interview with evangelicals at an evangelical church on a movie about a Jehovah's Witness. It's kind of weird. I was thinking you couldn't find a Catholic on this, but yeah, I liked Hacksaw. I liked that was a cool show. It got an amazing message behind it. Mel's good director. Yeah, Mel's good director. I'll give him that. I just thought it was funny about him. I saw the interview was at an evangelical church, and I was like, really? Yes, one more. God, let me get one more. Let me get one more. And that was a Seventh-day Adventist. That was he was a seventh-dayer. That was a. Of all the war movies, that was the top one. I agree with you. Better than Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan has some good stuff in it. It was good, but yeah, Hacksaw I think was better. Not because that's not saying anything bad about Saving Private Ryan. Anyway, what else? That's it. All right, you guys have a great rest of the week. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz on the show notes. Tell me how I did. Have a great rest of the weekend. See you on Monday for Black Pill Monday. Oh, yeah. And don't forget I can't think of anything else. Anyway, have a great rest of the night. God love you, and thank you for hanging out.